Working nights can already be a bit of a drag, but this guy got way more than he bargained for mid-shift, when instead of hitting a wall of fatigue, he got a paranormal punch in the face.
No, pues ahí voy entrando, vea, dame cuidado. Y entonces paso yo a coger las sábanas, comienzo a contarla porque me quedo 10 sábanas. Oh, entonces pues, no es que yo estoy ahí parado y todo eso, y estoy recogiendo las sábanas, se me abre la puerta y ya yo arranco. No, yo no sé, pero yo... Y vea, se cayó una cosa y no, yo pues no vuelvo, le digo, pues, ni amarrado.
After enough night shifts, you probably just think you were imagining all that, but the camera doesn't lie. So what happened? The poor guy ran out before anything else could go flying or burst open, but don't you think his reaction looks a little bit staged? He calls it quits the second he spins around, even before his eyes come into contact with the door, almost as if he was waiting for it. Unless he was already spooked by that area, perhaps because it happened before, or maybe because he was completely alone. So the moment he heard the door, he knew it was time to run. Realistically speaking, wouldn't we all?
You've probably had one of those moments while curled up in bed just about to fall asleep when you see a dark shadow out the corner of your eye and you jump straight out of your skin. Usually you can switch on the light, look around and deduce that it was just your mind playing tricks on you. But for this guy, he caught exactly what scared him senseless clear on camera.
Oh sh**! Fuck, dude. Fuck, yeah. Nothing here. Nothing here. Oh my god, I'm so... Oh my god, look, legit goosebumps. Oh my god. What the fuck is that?
The room is so dark that it's difficult to make out any distinctive features aside from a small frame and some long hair. No idea what the family unit in this house is, so we can't say it wasn't one of the family members lurking in the back. Regardless, did this video give you goose pimples too? Let us know down below.
The deep, dark depths of a random tunnel never really promise any nice surprises at the end, and yet people still go cavorting down them. This supposed photographer managed to get himself into a right state when he saw what was following just behind him. According to the video, this footage was found on a smartphone that had been left behind somewhere near the tunnel, and it was the last video the owner captured before he took his last breath. If you do a little bit of digging, you will find a video from the same channel that shows two guys exploring that very place.
Google マップで Google Earth で通れるよね、ストリート。いや、ここストリートビューで通れんやったら見つけれんやったよね。いや、本当に。めちゃくちゃ入り組んでるんですよ、この辺。
It is sandwiched between some very busy motorways and expressways in Japan, and is surrounded by mostly scrapyards according to them. As creepy as this is, it gives no details on the figure we saw in the last video, considering it was so still and we only saw it for a split second. No idea what it could be. But there is one thing that sets us on edge about it. When the guys were exploring the tunnel a few days after finding the video, they stumbled upon a broken umbrella that had been cast aside.
だって走り去ってった時さ、傘持ったままあんなスピード走らんから。
which is the same umbrella the guy dropped as he ran away in the original video. So we have someone's last moments caught on camera. The last thing they saw was a weird shadow figure, and the umbrella they were holding was still lying crumpled where they dropped it. Could this video be real? Did that shadow, whatever it was, take someone's life?
Apparently, humans may not be the most advanced species on planet Earth. The scary video you're about to watch seems to be yet another example caught on camera where the line between reality and fantasy starts to blur. Take a look. Can't help but feel like the bike in this video should be left alone to carry on its duty of saving the Transformers universe.
Can't transform.
It comes to life out of nowhere, startling everyone around as it turns itself on and whips its handlebars to the side. It's almost as if it ran out of patience. Even the people in the cafe don't seem to understand what is going on, and neither do we.
Long dark car rides knocks all the energy out of you. Some especially tired drivers can even end up hallucinating all sorts of things. That's what these guys thought was happening to them on their journey from Chikmagalur to Bangalore. That was until they got a bit closer and realised that it was no illusion. What the hell was that? Not sure if the most convincing things here is how terrified the guys sound as they cross paths with this spectral figure, or the fact that there is someone in the middle of nowhere at stupid o'clock in pitch black darkness just standing around without a torch or night vision, a figure that's so ghostly and bright it's almost reflective. Chikmagalur is known for its tribal families, who are almost completely detached from modernized society. But why would this look so otherworldly, to the point that the guys instantly thought the worst? Or is this some real compelling ghost footage? What do you think? Let us know.
The scary video you're about to watch was captured by Megan, who spent the night at the Ronald McDonald House while her daughter had surgery in a Knoxville hospital. The building was built in 1903 and it's an historic site where multiple people have reported witnessing strange sights. Of course, after spotting something she couldn't explain, she whipped out her phone to capture the bizarre scene. Here's what she caught.
Like, I saw the shadows on the sheet change. It looked like somebody, like somebody sat on the bed. I don't know, it was really weird. It was like somebody sat down on it. What the fuck? Did you just see that? It went back up. Oh no. Nope. Hey. I'm trying to sleep here in this bed. So, can I sleep here in this bed? Nope. I need it. So, What? Eric, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
The bed. It looks like someone invisible just got up and then sat again. Did you see that? The bed was somehow pressed down. Someone had to be sitting on it to press it down like that, right? Also, the fact that this historical building is so close to a hospital makes things a little spookier. Could someone from the other side be paying her a visit, or is she pulling the wool over our eyes? How do you explain this one? Let us know.
This group of Ghostbusters are at it again, searching old abandoned buildings. But this time, they seem to be in over their heads. Will they find anything, or was this their biggest mistake? Let's watch.
Buenas. Oye, oye, oye. Ch, ch, ch. Buenas. Güey, se escucha como una voz, ¿verdad? Ah. ¿Escuchaste, güey? Niño. A ver, güey, dale para allá.
Se vio algo acá a este lado, güey. Acá colombiano, pasó algo ahí. Uy. Mamá.
¿Dónde fue, güey?
No sé. Mamá. Mamá dijeron, güey.
¿Qué?
Contáctalo.
¿Hay el espíritu de una persona o de varias personas atrapados aquí?
Sí. Sí, te dijeron.
Contestar un rápido. ¿Cuántos son?
6.
This 20-minute long video shows two dudes ghost hunting in a condemned building. The building seems to have been abandoned before its construction was complete, making us wonder why. Although we can't say for sure if it was a ghost or just a random kid, what looks like a ghostly figure can be seen at least twice, lurking and watching them from the darkness. What exactly is going on here? Did their cameras just capture a lost soul wandering around that creepy-ass building? Or are they trying to pull the wool over our eyes? Let us know your thoughts.
You usually take a look at the mountain landscape on a long drive to drink in the beauty of nature, but this guy only saw something looming on the mountain top.
What is it? It's a person, dude. No, seriously, pull over, pull over. There's a person standing there.
No, it's not.
Dude, if you've seen what I've seen right now.
If you compare it to the size of the trees, the mountain, and the camera zoom, this figure must have been huge. Through the comments on this video, we were able to find the accounts that the clip initially came from, a guy called Andrew Dawson. When that video blew up, he took a few trips back to the same spot, and to his horror, the figure had moved. Could it have been an alien a UFO picked up? Was it some kind of military experiment? Well, maybe not. A few months after he posted all of these clips, he came out with a TikTok which explained everything, or did it? Before we dive deeper into what happened next, Let's watch this one, but be sure to keep an eye on his body language.
Hey guys, I just want to give you an update. I'm not dead. I have not disappeared. I have just been busy with life. I couldn't get around to posting and updating you guys, so now I'm going to give you an official update of what's been going on. Sorry to disappoint you guys, but all of the videos that I posted were scripted. They're just fake. They were just strictly for entertainment. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. I just needed to give you a quick update.
That's some pretty damning evidence that this video was faked, right? Well, scripting the videos is pretty straightforward, but how did he create the giants on the mountain? Usually, we would call this a case closed, but he posted a very strange video 10 days later.
You might not see me post ever again. My videos weren't fake.
The caption is even more interesting, saying, "Too much has happened and I can't be forced to be silent." Which makes this spookier, is that he did mention he was stopped by the CIA while attempting to record.
I just got stopped by like some CIA agent. He told me to turn around, said I'm trespassing. I said it's a public area, like a public park or whatever. Some local told me to take this path. I didn't get it on camera, but I'm going to go again tomorrow and be prepared to be filming right now because he stopped the vehicle. His truck was blocking it. Said some like environmental issue was going on. I don't know. He told me to go back and said I was trespassing. I don't get it. It was awkward, but I'm going back again tomorrow to see if he's not there. But if he is there, I will keep a camera. I will film because the only angle I could get that I found today is the one I just posted earlier, and there wasn't even anything there. But I don't understand why the road's blocked off. I don't know.
Could Andrew have been forced to say the videos were faked by the CIA? He hasn't posted in over a year on his once busy account. Also, on another mountain, a family caught this. Not exactly the thing you want to see the most in the middle of your family hike. You could put it down to a trick of the eye, but what if it isn't? What if the powerful are really trying to hide the evidence while silencing whoever stumbles upon it? Food for thought.
Going to the hospital is never a particularly positive experience. The sterile smells, bright lights, and seemingly endless corridors are enough to set anyone a little bit on edge. But what this person saw on their patrol through the wards late one night amid the pandemic, when the wards should have been mostly, if not completely empty, turned out to be even more terrifying than anything else you could find in a hospital. Take a look. If you missed it, don't worry, it's quite hard to spot, so let's slow down and zoom in. Look at the bin with the red bag inside, and trail your eyes up to the wall next to it and you can see the vague outline of a pale face slightly sticking out. On a closer look, the face seems to have a middle part with long hair and some kind of eye makeup on. This could mean one of three things. Someone stuck a printout of a creepy face behind that wall to freak out the co-workers. A patient was wandering through the wards alone at night and was spotted, or there's something much more sinister roaming through the building. Do you have any other theories? Leave them down below.
While checking the CCTV one night, something caught the security guard's eye. Thinking it was a person possibly trespassing, he got ready to go out there and give them help, until he looked back and realised it might not have been a person at all.
Появляется какая-то тень, силуэт, вернее, человека, полупрозрачный, и исчезает. Так вот, в замедленном действии. Посмотрим. Вот она появляется.
How did the figure just vanish? Cameras are funny things, and sometimes, contrary to popular depiction, pictures can lie. So there's a chance this was a shadow that glitched out because of the night vision. But what do you think?
Poltergeist activities at an elderly's house have become some sort of an urban legend, with stories about them whispered by those who have experiences. However, when our guy visited his grandparents' house, the haunted fables became too real to ignore.
Tipo ho sentito strisciare nel vetro, quindi non so che cazzo. No vabbè ragazzi, io sono terrorizzato, ma proprio nel... No vabbè. Direi che vado via, perché nei film consiglio sempre questa cosa qua.
Woken up by the eerie creaking of the floorboard upstairs and dogs barking ominously from the next house, he decided to investigate if they were being robbed, since no one else was in the house. Little did he know that he was up against more than just masked burglars. This appeared to be something way more sinister. As he tracks a disturbance to a room upstairs, he's greeted by a chilling sight. Scratching on the glass, chandeliers swaying as if moved by an invisible hand, like a scene straight out of a horror movie. But wait, there's more to this spine-tingling tale. You see, this isn't just a random encounter with the supernatural. His grandparents had called this place home for generations, never encountering any bizarre occurrence until recently, when things started to move. Indistinct chatterings were heard in the hallways. Phantom footsteps all around and whatnot. So, our guy, being just a concerned grandson, wanted to prove that it was all in their heads, decided to spend a couple of nights and record the whole experience. But from his encounters so far, someone or something might actually be lurking in the shadows, and if you thought this was all he experienced that night, well, see for yourself.
Mi sembra il caso di proseguire con questa cosa, non so come. Il vaso non era lì. Il vaso non era lì. Questo vaso non era lì. Non era assolutamente lì. Era qualche scalino più giù, ma non era qui. Ok.
Immediately after seeing the closet slammed shut and the vase right in the middle of the staircase, he saw something in the room that made his blood run cold. Don't worry, It's pretty hard to spot, so let's slow it down and zoom in. If the first two weren't warning enough, this last bit definitely drove the point home as he bolted downstairs in search of a much needed pair of spare pants. After the dust settled, he felt he had to go back there to be sure there weren't one-off events. Because why else would anyone in their right mind willingly set foot in a house that's practically a paranormal playground? At the earliest light, he gracefully packed his things and headed home to review the clips with his wife, who might have been wondering why he suddenly likes having sleepovers at grandma's. Much to the bewilderment of him and his wife, the blanket on the other bed moved at the same time he felt the temperature in the room drastically drop. Now that it's clear they possibly have a pesky poltergeist on their hands, they seek help, and people suggest that they inspect all the items they've recently brought into the house. Meanwhile, his grandmother had bought a vintage scarf from a yard sale. His next mission was to dispose of the scarf and clean the house of any malevolent spirit.
Pronto? Era mio fratello.
Having arrived in the house to windows wide open and the TV on, his attention was caught by a sound from behind. Shortly after, the phone rang, and he answered to be met with an unsettling silence on the other end, a taste of things to come on this intrepid mission.
Vi giuro, è inquietante.
In an eerie twist, someone or something threw the scarf to the ground. Did you notice how quickly he panned the camera in that direction? That's not something you don't see very often with ghost videos. With a hesitant hand, he hurriedly picked up the scarf and tossed it in the furthest trash bin. After that, a thorough purification was done, and the uploader testified that they no longer experienced any bizarre events in the house, and that his grandparents moved back in. We've seen a lot of ghost stories in our day. Could this one be the real deal? Or did they put on a great haunted charade for our entertainment? What do you think? Let us know in the comments.
Anybody with kids will tell you that you know something is up when the house goes quiet. So when the noise stopped in this woman's house, she snuck over to check on her son with her camera, praying to all the saints that her son was reading, rather than covering the room in baby powder. But instead of catching him bouncing off the walls, she caught something much worse.
John!
Who or what the hell was that? And more importantly, why would it be peeking through the toddler's window? Are they being stalked by a skinwalker, a ghost, or worse, peeping Tom from down the road? What a creep.
This spine-tingling video is about to serve as a chilling reminder of why it's never a wise move to play detective in the dead of night, especially when you're in the middle of nowhere. Get ready for a hair-raising sight that'll make you think twice about stepping out of your vehicle into the unknown. The backstory of this clip is a bit murky, but from what we gathered, the man in the video noticed a figure standing unmoved in the middle of the road and decided to check it out. Utterly pissed, he decided to call their bluff by pulling off the cloth, hoping to find the prankster underneath, only to discover the chilling truth that it was never a prank. Could this be real? Do ghosts now appear in front of people's cars unprovoked? Or maybe it was a cheap shot at internet fame. What do you make of this video? Let us know in the comments.
Ghost tracker and communication apps usually get shut down from the get-go, but the video this guy made using one was so interesting we just had to have a look. He didn't think it was real or that it was actually going to work, but he was soon hit with a paranormal punch in the face.
So this app We Contact claims to use AI to connect to the spirit realm and let you talk to ghosts. I am obviously skeptical, but I'm curious. So I thought I'd use it, give it a shot, and record myself. So let's see how this works. Is there a spirit here with me?
Yes, there is a spirit here with you.
Okay. What's your name?
You know my name.
I know your name. Alright, have we met before?
Why are you acting like this? Are you feeling okay?
I'm feeling fine. Are you feeling okay?
I'm a little cold, and everything is dark in here. Why do you have the lights out?
It's actually daytime in my house.
I've been calling you all day, baby, and you've been ignoring me. If something's wrong, say so. Let's talk about this. It's making me very angry.
The picture falling over was a bit creepy, but it wasn't even the scariest part. Just as he picks up the camera and pans it down, look at the doorway. Who or what is that? There was nobody behind him in that doorway for the whole video, so where did it come from? Granted, someone could have been hiding behind the wall and just stepped out when he was shaking the camera around, but surely if they were faking a video, they'd go bigger than that, right? The other spooky thing about this video is the fact that the app he was using, called We Contact, has now been completely removed from any app or Play Store. We've googled it high and low too, and there is absolutely no trace of it anywhere. What happened here? Could a paranormal app actually work? Have any of you heard of or used this app before, and did you have any experiences as a result? Let us know in the comments.
When people get bored, they usually read a book, hang out with friends, or exercise, but this dude explores creepy abandoned buildings at stupid o'clock in his spare time. Little does he know, he's about to understand the reason why his parents keep telling him that this might not be the wisest of hobbies, because tonight things take a sudden turn into the realm of panic, where curiosity may indeed prove costly for him. It all starts when he decides to check out an old apartment that was mysteriously abandoned. Soon, he figures out why the previous residents left in a hurry, leaving almost everything behind. After walking into a room with an upside-down crucifix, he suddenly hears an eerie jingle from the music box. While this would be enough to scare anyone witless, he continues his exploration. That is, until he comes face to face with his worst nightmare. As the camera pans across the room, an item on the shelf is knocked down by someone, or something, and objects are thrown at him by whatever's in the house. What the hell could have flung those things at him? Wasn't he supposed to be alone on this one-man Scooby-Doo adventure? After this barrage, he gets the message and runs to safety, not minding that his leg gets caught in some of the stuff on the ground. As legit as the guy might appear, we're not in the business of taking videos at face value, so let's take a deeper look. While the music box could have been tampered with by a remote device, it appears far too ancient to have such a feature, but we're not entirely ruling out that possibility. But what about the item that fell from the shelf? Strings, perhaps? Given the poor quality of the video, it's hard to look past the possibility of that, and since he turned his camera to the ground when things were tossed at him, it's hard to tell if it was staged. That being said, there's a possibility that something far more sinister decided to freak him out there. What do you think though? Real poltergeist activity caught on camera? Or a cheap shot at paranormal fakery? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
While hosting a chilled out games day at their church, these guys were expecting nothing but smooth sailing. The kids were happy, they were happy, and everything seemed great. Until one team member called them all back to the security room, as pale as a ghost, to show them that the kids might not have been the only ones taking advantage of the activities.
John, how is it doing that? But wait, John, it's about to break on its own. It's gonna break on its own.
You have to watch it until it breaks. That's been our regret.
Watch, John. Are you watching this thing? Yeah. It's not moving. No. Oh, in there. No. Watch. Oh. Watch, John. Watch.
That hurts so bad.
Nobody listens to me. There's ghosts in here. Nobody listens to me.
Watch.
It's about to go crazy and break. It's still moving! It's still moving, y'all! It's still moving! It's still moving!
If it floats in the air and goes for the child, and freak out.
Right off the bat, all of these people sound like they're being genuine. There's so many different emotions to be heard while this all goes down. The pool cue rattling around could be because of movement making the floor and pool table shake. But how the hell did it break by itself?
We all know ghosts are rumoured to move in ways inconceivable to the naked eye, but we never knew they were able to break the speed of sound. That was until this scary video was posted on TikTok. No idea who the original poster is, but we can derive some information just from the video alone. The figure is almost comical. Some comments even mention it probably forgot something from the shops and was speed walking back to grab it. The shadow looks like a person waddling, but it looks artificially sped up, almost as if someone edited the video. However, what makes this piece of paranormal evidence so unsettling is the fact that, if you look at the time in the top corner, it is moving at its regular pace and the person is recording with their phone directly from the CCTV software, reducing the chances of some cheeky edits. But for the skeptics among us, how do you explain those weird, unnaturally jerky movements? Do we put it down to clever editing and video overlay, or does the late night shopping trip extend to the world of the supernatural? Let us know in the comments.
This next video left viewers scratching their heads in confusion, and it did just that to us as we watched this woman have probably the creepiest night of her life. Here's what was caught.
In here, and yes, my fan is on. That's why you see it blowing. But what the hell is that? Why is it wrinkling like that? Like somebody's pushing it. And that looked like a face.
She notices that someone or something is behind the curtain. As the video continues, it starts to look more like hands pressing against the fabric than just the gentle breeze of the night. If you watch closely, you even see it transform into a face. Soon enough, she gets up to investigate and finds nothing behind the curtain. The disturbing imprint could have been made by anyone, especially since there's a doorway back there. Plus, the video conveniently didn't show what was back there. But let's keep an open mind. It could have been anything. Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments.
Our next video was sent by our dear viewer Belina on Instagram. The video is from the guys at the YouTube channel Fashat and G's, who have a penchant for exploring old, creepy, abandoned buildings at night. But this time around, the paranormal came back to bite them in the arse. They went from Rambo mode with their full camo suits to running for their spare pants in a heartbeat. But before you watch the bone-chilling events that got them questioning their line of work, we first need to understand why they were there in the first place. They were called to investigate a village that was rumoured to be tormented by a jinn. The locals had enough of being scared every night, so they took their ghost hunting tools to find out why. Right from the get-go, it was evident that the evil that ravaged the area was still lurking. They are immediately met by sounds that could have only been caused by someone on the roof. This part of the village is said to be the paranormal hotspot, but this was just a taste of what was to come. Multiple creepy creatures can be seen lurking in the shadows by the window, and were only captured by the night vision camera. He couldn't see a thing with the naked eye. This was in the room right above them. Could it have been what made those sounds or sent the grass their way? What happened next shows that the danger might be closer than they think. They returned to the room where they had set up, only to find their devices damaged rather mysteriously. Could they have had someone destroy it to add some credibility to their story? Or was it really time to pack up and leave? As they attempt to retrieve their things, the walls start to collapse. Objects are thrown at them, and a heightened sense of hostility fills the area. They finally get the message and escape by the skin of their teeth. Of course, this could all just be a good piece of spooky entertainment, but what if it isn't? What if they really came face to face with something neither they nor the locals could ever explain? Creepy, right?
Riding motorbikes comes with a bucket load of risks to consider. While worrying about all of those, this guy was hit with something he never could have anticipated, quite literally. There is a lot to unpack here, so let's just start with the context. The guy said that the person who walked out in front of him only bolted towards him at the last second, but it does seem like they were walking across the road for quite a while before he caught up. The biker also says that he didn't feel the person's presence at all. This is strange because he clocked that someone or something ran straight into his bike. But what was it? Looking through the comments, some viewers took it upon themselves to enhance the video to see if they could make out a distinguishable face, and nobody was able to. It's human in shape, wearing human clothes and all that jazz, but where the hell is its face? And where did it go right after the biker drove past? It's a little suspicious that he didn't stop to see what happened, but it might have just been adrenaline. Is this a road phantom or a close call?
The following scary videos come from one of you guys who prefers to stay anonymous, so let's just call him Dude. Dude found this clip online with almost no context, and thought we should feature it in hopes the Goose Pimple community could help make sense of it. After some digging, we discovered that it came from a security camera installed in a Mexican apartment complex. A girl heard screams from her neighbour's flat at stupid o'clock, so she thought she had a clever idea to go all alone and check out what was going on. But little did she know, she was about to come face to face with something she'd never forget. Take a look at what the security camera captured that night. Like something straight out of a horror movie, we see her get dragged by her hair into the neighbour's apartment. She already looked inside and clearly didn't see anyone before turning to investigate somewhere else. Then, out of nowhere, she was literally yanked back by an unseen force. With no backstory or a better camera angle, we can't say for sure what is going on here, but her hair gets yanked right in front of the camera. That's not exactly easy to fake. A setup designed to freak out viewers online? Maybe. But the way she's dragged by an unseen force, caught clearly on CCTV, it makes you wonder if something far more sinister showed up that night. Strangely, no one's been able to provide any updates since, and no one's managed to debunk it so far. Can you? Let us know.
We found out about this place because Haunt Hunters sent a video of their investigation to our email, and the footage they caught seems to be very compelling. But what exactly was it that these guys walked into?
The historic Ritz Theater shut its cinematic doors after 80-plus years in the summer of 2023, but in doing so has given paranormal investigators a chance to investigate this haunted location.
I like.
Oh wow. You're not gonna like it.
What did it say?
Satan.
The Ritz Theatre was opened in Utah in 1939 and was eventually handed down to married couple Alan and Mickey Bradshaw, who would run it for nearly 60 years until it closed down in 2023. What was once the town's most popular and historic entertainment outlet began to lose money, eventually forcing its doors closed.
We begin in the main theater and have most of the theater covered with various cameras to try and see if we can capture the spirit that I just saw. We have 2 infrared cameras pointed at the backs of the theater, a camera next to Jason and I on one side at the front of the theater, and on the other side of the front of the theater we have Jamie and her friend Justin.
A building that holds as much history as this is bound to be home to some strange phenomena.
Mostly so I can go get some snacks, but also so we can see about the paranormal activity there as well. Before I can even get set up, Jason and Jamie are already experiencing paranormal activity.
So we're excited to be at the theater tonight. Is there someone that could help us with candy or popcorn or drinks? We got the para-lantern, that's the round lantern-shaped object. It's got a purple light. Or keep touching that, keep turning that red.
Whoa, is this us? I mean, is that your phone?
Nope, I was testing it and it setting it off earlier.
Thank you, whoever's touching that K2. Now that... Oh, it's gone down. Now it's back up to yellow.
According to Mickey, ghosts are living in the walls. The building has had its share of paranormal experiences, with owners Mickey and Alan Bradshaw, employees and guests reporting ghostly occurrences. A notable incident involving Alan Bradshaw and his daughter seeing an apparition of a couple in the auditorium, who disappeared when they looked again. The cinema is believed to house resident spirits, including 2 ushers in one of the auditoriums, thought to be former employees who loved their jobs so much they never left. Despite the owner's practical approach to their spectral visitors, these experiences contribute to the unique character of the 84-year-old cinema. Dr. Ghost Hunter's YouTube channel decided to do a paranormal investigation there, but while they didn't catch much in the way of solid physical footage, the same can't be said about Haunt Hunters. They set up 3 cameras throughout the theatre and believe they caught a shadow figure sliding down the right-hand wall. Take a look.
See, shadow on the walls look normal. Right there, right there, right there. Walking. Walks, keeps walking, and then disappears completely in Reed. So watch. Then you're gonna see our shadows kind of.
That was definitely a different shadow than
watch.
Your guys'.
Another one manifests. Walks down. Watch.
Yeah, that's weird.
Watch. Goes. Sits down. No one's sitting.
Yeah, that is definitely different than your guys' shadow too. You can tell the difference.
Dude,
That's
there's
weird.
3 people in that room, and now Reed's walking out, and watch. He gets a cold chill. Watch where he stops. Right there. That is nuts, dude.
Because with your guys' shadow, you guys have multiple light sources, so you can tell.
It's extremely hard to spot, so we'll zoom in a little. They believe this shadow couldn't have been cast from any of the other rooms because you can see that all the cameras are in real time, and the position as well as the speed of the figure doesn't seem to match that of anyone else in that room either. But focus on the figure and use your peripheral vision. Replay it as many times as you need. Can you see anyone that could be casting that shadow? The guys on the channel claim that they all moved so their shadows wouldn't be cast in the same place. Could this really be proof of a shadow person caught on camera? What do you think? Let us know. But a big shout out to Haunt Hunters for sending this one over to our email.
Warehouse work can be dangerous at the best of times, with all the heavy loads you have to carry and the machinery you have to watch out for during your shift. But one thing you don't normally expect to encounter is an unseen force dragging you down the aisles with the force of 10 men, which is what happened here. Take a look. Putting everything else aside for a moment, things could have gone seriously wrong for that poor man if only those boxes full of beer cans had fallen on his head or spine. Sure, you might argue that there could have been someone else hiding on the other side of the shelving unit to push everything off, but how did he get dragged such a long distance at such a speed? It's not like we're watching a Hollywood movie set, it's a warehouse CCTV security system. Plus, we can't see from both angles, and there doesn't seem to be anyone in sight who can pull a string. But even if it was a string, imagine the pain of being dragged with a thin wire against your skin like that.
Old Asylum seemed to be a top spot if you're looking for creepy paranormal experiences, and this one did not disappoint. Take a look.
Pay attention to the upper window on the left. Did you see that? Now, the people who took the video said that the building is locked up, the windows are too high to climb in, and the whole upper floor is collapsed. So, what is standing in this window?
Did you see that? The video is pretty short, but not short of eerie vibes, that's for sure. It was filmed at the Heartwood Asylum, a paranormal hotspot well known for multiple accounts of ghostly figures seen and heard running inside, day and night. according to the uploaders, they couldn't find a way to go inside, so they left, but not without one last video. That's when they captured what looks like a ghostly figure running away from the window. Sure, we could assume it to be just a homeless person trying to hide, but as it looks like the first floor is completely desolate, and they also mention it seemed pretty hard to climb up there without an open entrance. It's short, but the mysterious figure seems to be dressed in black with a pale face and hands or gloves. It's a strange, disturbing sight. Could this one be the real deal? Or did some real brave soul just get into that dangerous building just for a spooky video? People do anything for clout these days, after all. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments.
With the night at its absolute quietest, this Filipino biker ended up in hospital after a minor incident, just for a quick check, or so he thought, because it took ages to be seen. Bored and with very little to do, he decided to record a video for his girlfriend to show how empty the hospital was at that time. Little did he know that he'd capture way more than just empty beds and a sparkly clean floor. When his girlfriend got back to him, asking him to stop playing jokes, he didn't get it at first, but as he watched the footage back, it quickly became a bone-chilling realization that would haunt his dreams for nights to come. He wasn't really alone after all. Take a look. Whose feet are those? What started as a fun, cheery video took a dark turn into a horrifying experience that left many scratching their heads for answers. The feet in the video appeared to be those of a pale white ghostly figure, but where did she vanish? Adding to the chilling mystery is the fact that the feet looked faded or white. Could it be the ghost of somebody who passed away in that hospital? Or a neatly done jump cut? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
Late one night, a staff member from this Pakistani asylum came back to his shift and quickly skimmed through the night's CCTV camera footage, as he does every day as part of his morning routine. However, this time he noticed something strange on the monitor. Two of the patients were caught lying on the floor of the recreational room. To this day, no one knows why they both left their rooms, but that's not the most unsettling part. The real horror comes with what the camera captured next. Watch closely. As the staff member watched in disbelief, two ghostly figures appeared near the patients. They seemed to move unnaturally, dragging themselves across the room before suddenly vanishing into thin air. He rewound the footage several times, unable to believe his eyes. What were those figures? And why did they appear only when the patients were on the floor? These questions remain unanswered, unless you have any theories. Let us know in the comments.
Morgues are never very happy places, but at the very least, they're normally clean and efficient. You're safe in the knowledge that the dead are at peace and being tended to, unless, God forbid, they were lugged into this morgue we are about to show you. According to the reporter in the video, the bodies in this morgue were dumped there and left for a long time, to the point that they smelled, and he commented that the varying conditions of the bodies were complicated. Which isn't a great way to start, but surprisingly, that isn't even the creepiest part about this video. Take a look.
¿Vamos? Bueno, estamos en interiores de la morgue del Hospital de Clínicas, pues y las condiciones en las que se encuentran los cuerpos ya sin vida son complicadas. Les invito a que vean estas imágenes. Se siente un olor
What on earth happened there? A room full of bodies and a padlock that moves around all by itself is not a good combination. While there could be any number of reasons it moved the way it did, none of them really make any sense. If it were the wind, then we would have seen movement elsewhere, like in the guy's hair for example. And if it was someone hiding off screen, or a string messing with the padlock, then we would have seen some kind of shadow somewhere, right? So, who or what moved it? There are no further developments regarding this clip. We don't know what hospital this was, where it was, or what actually happened. But considering the sheer horror of what was going on inside, we can only assume it was terrible enough to be featured on the news, and subsequently closed down.
Angie was recording her nephew playing around in the living room when he noticed they had company, but nobody else could see it, except, apparently, for us.
Dance, baby. What? What? Alicia. What happened? What? What do you see? They think you scared the hell out of me. What do you see? What? Ma what?
Ma what? Go to mom.
No, God!
Creepy, right? She said that only her nephew and the camera picked up on this strange silhouette. Now, there isn't much background to this clip, and this is the only video on this girl's TikTok page. But the figure is so clear that it's either one of the clearest depictions of shadow people or her friend standing in the shadows for a spooky video. Which one is it? Let us know what you think in the comments.
We've all seen those doorbell camera videos at night, where a random person walking past looks very ghostly. But what would you do if you caught a figure on camera and assumed it was just a glitch, but then played the same video again, only this time there's no one to be seen? Look what this guy caught on camera right outside his front door.
My in-laws are from Colorado visiting my wife and I for Thanksgiving. We're in Madison, Wisconsin, and their ring alarm went off. And look at this, okay? I'm gonna play this video up to here. It's 44 seconds long, so I can't play the full 60. But watch. Now you don't see anybody walking. I'm gonna rewind it. Okay, look. When we back it up, we see this person or whatever it is come in frame. It looks like a person. Fast forward a little bit more. I'm gonna zoom in. Whatever this is has 4 legs. Look at that. What is that? But we back it up, okay? Press play. It's not there. It's not on camera. But we do this. What is this?
Usually, we would put this down to a camera glitch that is common with doorbell cameras overnight. The creepy part here is, when he plays the footage, there's no one there. However, when he drags the progress bar back and forward, a creepy figure of someone walking appears. And by the looks of it, it has 3 legs. How can you explain this one? If it was caught on camera when fast forwarding, why does it seem to be invisible when playing the video? Have you ever seen anything similar on your Ring camera? Did it freak you out? Let us know.
Late one Saturday night in Tamara Rakat Jaya, a housing complex in Kuala Dungan, Malaysia, a group of college guys were live streaming on Facebook, probably for their female followers. Having a blast and celebrating the end of the semester, the night was supposed to be all about fun, finally blowing off some steam after months of studying. But what started as a laid-back boys' night quickly took a terrifying turn when they suddenly heard a loud, echoing bang from outside. Here's what they caught on camera that night.
Itu lu bunyi ni dulu. Oh, sana buka ni. Lalu. Kau itu ni, cik. Dia dah masuk ni. Cukup. Lampu tutup belum? Ruang ketang, ruang di luar, ruang ketang. Lepas ni boleh tak? Bimbang. Pia. Tak pasal pipi. Tapi ya. Ya. Dok orang tu. Dok sini gelak dia. Allah Akbar. Bodoh. Ya Allah. Astagfirullahaladzim. Bodoh. Babi gua ya Allah. Allahu Akbar.
After checking every inch of the house for an intruder, they head back to the living room, only to find a shadowy figure just standing there in the corner. How did that get there? They had definitely recorded the room when they left, and everything looked normal. So how did the lights suddenly turn off, and that creepy figure show up out of nowhere? Were they being pranked by a friend, or did something way more sinister drop by that night? You decide.
Big shout out to our awesome viewer Danny Sharp, who sent this terrifying clip on our Discord server. The dude filming gets the most unpleasant surprise he's ever had, as he faces what can't be called human. Watch.
¿Qué quiere?
Right off the bat, this chilling video starts off with a man breathing frantically, fearful of what lies on the other side of the door. A constant knocking pounds at his door.
¿Qué quiere?
He peers through a window looking out into the hall, but sees absolutely nothing. His curiosity forces him to open the door, and mysteriously, the knocking stops, with no one to be seen. But just as he is about to close it again, a child laughs, and we see its spectral image run by and disappear into the corner. He follows the ghostly child but reaches a dead end with nothing there. Imagine trying to sleep after witnessing something like this. Nope.
The back garden is a place for lazy summer evenings, spent lounging around and drinking with family and friends, except for this guy, apparently, who once chilled out outdoor pad became a breeding ground for real-life terror. Shy Unique Legacy went live on Facebook a while back to try and explain some of the weird stuff he had been seeing sneaking through the greenery outside his house, but he managed to catch something much more compelling than an old story. Take a look.
That's the exact motherfucking spot now. That's my backyard. I'm zooming in a little piece. This is the exact spot that I just...
What the hell was that? According to Shy Unique, there had been multiple instances where he had been smoking on his back porch and noticed something strange slinking across the garden. He caught a photo beforehand, but it was pretty vague. So this video really solidified it in everyone's mind that something wasn't quite right, because how would he have faked a transparent demonic figure running through the garden on a live stream? From what we can see, this situation was never brought up on Shy Unique's profile ever again. So, do you have any hot takes? Leave them in the comments.
The spine-tingling video you're about to watch was captured by Urbex Castronautica, who decided to investigate a cemetery one of their subscribers suggested. At first, everything seemed normal, just a crumbling tomb and its eerie silence. But when they reviewed the footage later, what they saw turned their faces ghostly pale. It was something they never experienced until now. Take a look.
No sé, de ese porque vi Candyman. Después el flasheo con él. Es raro.
No, está bien. Están re abandonados, boludo.
Como la lógica y lo usan como los jaulones, viste, que hacen los panales. Yo flasheo, no sé, la abeja se confunde y hace algo similar en ese lugar. No. Mira lo que es esto.
The La Plata Cemetery in Buenos Aires, Argentina, is an old resting place famous for its controversies and ghostly tales. But when these guys inspected the tomb, they didn't expect anything unusual until one of their subscribers spotted a pale white hand reaching out from the coffin. Could this be the ghost of one of the people buried there? Bearing in mind the dark history of satanic rituals, witchcraft, and ghost sightings in this cemetery? Or maybe worse. Perhaps they just found a portal to the underworld where demons infiltrate our realm. Besides, what the hell cracked the tomb open like that? While these are stark possibilities, there's also a chance that someone edited the video to plant fear in our hearts, since that graveyard is already known for such things. But what do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments.
If you live in the UK or anywhere surrounding, you'll remember everybody gazing into the stars to see the whimsical design of nature that was the Northern Lights a few weeks ago. While most people got some fantastic shots to reminisce on, this guy caught something that had him sleeping with his lights on that night. If you missed it, don't worry, it's a little bit hard to spot, so let's slow it down and zoom in. There is a shadow figure traipsing across the shot. The OP seems to think it looks like a man in a top hat, but he swears that there was nobody with him at the time. Could it be a spirit or an otherworldly entity drawn to the energy of the Northern Lights? To be fair, it's not every day that you catch a ghostly apparition on camera, especially not one with such a distinct look. On the other hand, the guy was using long exposure on his phone, which means the camera shutter stays open longer, capturing any movement or changes for a clearer, more detailed photo. And loads of the dazzling photos that people got that night were captured this way, and it works best if you keep the camera still, which this guy wasn't doing. But even with that in mind, it's still creepy to think that there was a solitary figure just wandering around at stupid o'clock. Could it have been something from the other side? Or was it just a guy trying to get a photo of the lights, which the OP somehow missed even though they were right in front of his eyes? Let us know what you think about this one.
This girl might prove that there is more to the human brain that we can even begin to grasp, and it will blow your mind. Trust me, take a look. The origins of this clip are pretty murky, but it looks like it was cropped out from CCTV footage. By the disposition of the tables, it could be two bored schoolgirls in detention, but one of them clearly didn't notice the camera because she started using what looked like her telekinesis power without giving a damn. Is this real? Can people actually learn how to control a part of their brain in a way that manipulates the environment around them, Matrix style? Or do we really live in a simulation? Heck, was this taken from a film or something? The footage and their reactions seem pretty realistic, that is, apart from the superpowers of course. What do you think? Is this some legit proof of telekinesis in action? Or some random scene from a movie? Let us know in the comments.
These guys are all about exploring haunted places at unholy hours. They get hints from people who experience paranormal activities and investigate based on that intel. However, this exploration was one that made them reconsider their line of work. They end up in a hamlet that's been abandoned for decades with no electricity or accessible roads. One follower who had visited the place about 10 years earlier described seeing an old couple who creepily told him to leave and never come back, and he suggested they investigate the village too. Upon arriving at the village, they fan out and explore various parts of the village. They also agreed to rendezvous every 30 minutes. Little did they know that within the first half hour, things took a sinister turn. One of them fails making it to the rendezvous point and wasn't answering their calls. Terrified, they set out to find him, but their discovery makes them wish they had taken the creepy couple's advice.
Dai-chan! 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 ちょっと待ってね。足場が悪すぎてさ。大ちゃん？大ちゃん？大ちゃん？ある廃屋内で男性を発見するが、まるで数日間そこに囚われていたかのように疲弊しきった姿でうずくまっていた。
They found their friend sitting with his head tucked between his knees, looking like he'd been dazed or hypnotized. But things only got spookier from here. The footage found on his camera shows a ghostly figure looking through one of the doors, throwing him off balance because he wasn't expecting someone to be there. But when he turned the camera again, the figure had vanished.
撮影者が見たものは、台所とおぼしき場所の前にこちらに背を向けて座る老婆だった。投稿者の友人が遭遇したという怪異との関係性は不明だが、この廃集落ならたびたび類似した怪奇現象が報告されている。
Then he saw someone who appeared to be wearing a kimono sitting in the kitchen area, and as you may have guessed, the figure vanished right after too. But if you found this one creepy, wait until you see what they captured the other night.
定点撮影を開始し、しばらくしたその時、男性は見えない何かに襲われ、恐怖のあまりその場から逃げ出す。
ガッチャー！レイちゃん！ガッチャー！
They explored a room believed to be haunted by a witch with a rocking chair, where anyone who sat on it would suffer a loss of senses. With the chair now gone, they improvised with the TV. After a while, the guy used as bait felt a hand on his shoulder and pulled a "screw you guys, I'm going home" and ran for the stairs. But just when they thought they'd escaped the horror, this happened.
なんか触られた。は？上を取ろう今。大ちゃん後ろ！後ろ！降りて！大ちゃん後ろ！大ちゃん降りてきて！
As the entire team gathers on the stairs, they spot an eerie shadow lurking behind one. Whether you believe this to be real or fake, just imagine capturing something like this on camera. Would you continue getting tips from strangers about haunted places for you to explore at stupid o'clock? Screw that.
During a late-night train station patrol, one of the guards took a quick video. They thought nothing of it at the time, but when they watched the footage back, their blood ran cold. If you missed it, don't worry. It's pretty hard to spot. So let's slow it down and zoom in. What is that? Considering the description says it was 3:34 AM, the train wouldn't have been active and the doors would have been locked. There is always a chance they shoved a mannequin in the window or something, but they wouldn't even have access to the inside of the train at stupid o'clock. So, what do you think? A practical joke or a truly haunted train? Let us know.
If you need any more reasons why you shouldn't mess around with Ouija boards, this next clip might just be the nightmare fuel you need. While these two people were trying to make contact with the other side, they were met with a nasty surprise lurking just behind them.
¿Cuántas hay aquí?
Espérate. Dice saludos de la familia Hernández y de Dolores de Guanajuato. No es necesario hacer eso, dicen. No, ya no. Tú dime, ¿a poco no sientes nada?
Sí, pero ¿no quieres más?
Sí, pues sí, pero tú estás jugando, yo no estoy agarrando eso.
No más poquitas.
Ok.
¿Y qué otra cosa quieres que me pregunte?
¿Tú sientes? Se siente algo aquí ya, ¿eh?
¿Estás aquí con nosotros?
¡Liz! ¡Muévete de aquí! ¡Muévete! ¡Muévete!
What the hell was that? We only get a tiny glimpse of the hellspawn, so it's hard to dictate whether it's something genuinely demonic or just a creepy mask stuck to the wall. But the noise that echoed through the room before he turned around is enough to make anyone's blood run cold. It does seem a bit sus that he knew exactly where to investigate first, almost as if the video was staged. But then again, you never know.
Acércate a mí. Muéstrate. Hay algo caminando. ¿Dónde está? Ahí hay algo. Si hay algo ahí, ahí está parado. Mira, se está desenfocando y está parado. ¿Lo ves? ¿Me quieres dar una señal o qué?
Sometimes you just get an instinct. One thing's for certain though, we won't be holding any Ouija board nights anytime soon. That thing might see it as an open invite.
Late into his shift at the Santiago metro station, well known for its multiple reports of ghostly sightings, this man had spent most of the night sitting and staring at screens. With eyes heavy and mind wandering, he decided to take a stroll by the leisure area to get some blood flowing and snag a late night snack. However, as he gets there, he caught a chair moving on its own out of the corner of his eye, followed by a screen turning on by itself. With it not being the first time he witnessed something strange there, he immediately fishes out his phone and starts recording. That's when he caught something on camera he'll never forget. Take a look.
¡Oh, conchetumare! ¡Oh, mierda! ¡Oh, qué weá! ¿Qué weá? Oh, cabrón, 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 run.
Did you spot the pool balls moving by themselves? Just as he felt a chill running down his spine, the cue stick decided to dive on its own too. But how does one explain cue balls coming to life? Is this why the Santiago metro station is known to be haunted? Well, there are many reports like this from that station, but perhaps the most fascinating is that of a woman who took the last train on line 1, alone in her carriage, or so she thought, because soon she noticed 3 passengers sat in seats that were empty when she got in, a woman and 2 kids, staring intently at her. Another passenger boarded and, after realizing what was going on, whispered to her, "Don't look at her face, get off at the next stop with me." Heeding his advice, she learned the chilling truth. A mother and her 2 children had lost their lives years earlier to a speeding train, and ever since then, multiple passengers swear to have witnessed the strange paranormal sighting with their own eyes. Reckon the Santiago metro station is really haunted with all these crazy stories. No wonder that man went running to his colleagues like a toddler scared by their siblings, after witnessing something like that.
Oh, mierda. Oh, qué bueno.
A scenic bike ride is a fantastic way to get the adrenaline pumping, but when these guys swooped around the trail they were on, they sensed something wasn't quite right, and their suspicions were proved correct when they watched the footage back. You could argue that it is some branches amalgamating into a strange shape and tricking our eyes. But since when did branches have eyes, faces, and veils? The guys saw this and, ignoring the chills down their spines, headed back out to the same spot to see if they could catch it once more.
¿Qué cosa es? A lo mejor sí es un árbol. A lo mejor es efecto de las lámparas. Pues acá está en árbol en medio del sendero. Dicen que este puede ser, pero no creo, ¿eh? A ver, hazte un poquito para allá. Adelante, hijo. No, pues no se ve nada, ¿no? ¿Será este árbol? ¿Ustedes qué dicen?
There was nothing there but a tree. We don't know where this video was taken exactly, so we can't look into any legends or reports of that trail, but one thing is for certain, we wouldn't be biking down there anytime soon if we were there.
This scary video might just make you think twice about spending the night alone at stupid o'clock. After months of getting the heebie-jeebies in his own home, this guy couldn't shake the feeling that something was seriously off. He'd been catching twisted shadows out of the corner of his eye, but one terrifying night finally pushed him over the edge. Desperate for a break, he fled to a hotel for a few days, hoping the distance would calm his nerves. But when he returned, he came back with a plan. Phone on one hand, spare pants on the other, ready to catch that shadow bastard who didn't even offer to pay the rent.
I'm fully invested. Let's go and see a shadow bastard. Come with me. Come on, let's go.
He thought capturing the footage would settle things once and for all. Maybe even prove that it was all in his head. But that very footage was the thing that sent him spiraling. And it all started in the kitchen.
Okay, I'm back home. It's been about 3 days. I just got back from my hotel room, and I've still been witnessing uneasy feeling in here. It's the only way I can describe it. So tonight, I'm just trying to see if there's any type of communication. Whoever you are, I've caught you a couple of times on camera.
Yo, what up? Ghost Golden Guns over here. And I'm going live right now because that's why. Hello. Hello? Is anyone there? What the f***? What the f***? Who is out? Oh my god. Oh my goodness, what the f***? Hello? Who is there? Oh my goodness, please stop. What the f***? Please stop. Please stop. This is my house. Leave. Leave. This is my house. You're not allowed here. Leave. Oh my goodness. Hello. Oh my goodness. What the f...
The strangest thing about this is that if the cupboard doors were just swinging open, you could probably brush all this off as a bit of string. But how the hell are they slamming closed as well? Unless this guy has employed the borrowers to pull the door shut from the inside, there's no way it could be closed so aggressively. And it turns out that things in there got weirder and weirder, believing there to be some kind of malevolent presence behind the crazy cupboards. This guy decided to invest in an SLS camera. He found exactly what you'd expect when it comes to software like that. But there was another element to the video he caught that will make your hair stand on end.
Is there anyone there? Oh man, that's fucking crazy. What the fuck, man? Who's there? Leave. Leave.
The stick figure is creepy enough, but the fact that it was right in front of the cupboard and then on command, the door swung open and closed again. Albeit more gentle this time, but still a huge paranormal punch in the face. After living in fear of this phantom cupboard fanatic, the activity seemed to die down, and he became slightly more comfortable, relaxing in the front room. But one night, after he thought it was all over and done with, he felt it. That small yet overwhelmingly foreboding sense of dread began to slither up his body, twisting through every nerve as he realized that it had never ended. He pulled out his camera, and in his desperation, he managed to catch this. The footage is somewhat blurred, but if you focus just a little, you can easily make out what looks like a silhouette lurking in the shadows. But what the hell, or who the hell was it?
Next is a video from the YouTube channel BloodZack12, who had been living peacefully in his house until he started noticing bizarre events all around his house. Luckily, one afternoon, his phone was at hand to capture what he described as the craziest thing he'd ever seen. This is the footage he caught.
Hello? Whoa! What the hell? What the? Come on, come on. Here for a little bit. I'm gonna see. Quiet here. I just need to go upstairs and get some of my stuff and leave. Christ. What the fuck? Shit. Oh fuck. What the fuck? Stop. Fucking stop. Stop! Fuck.
That afternoon, he hears a noise coming from his kitchen and decides to investigate with his camera. He finds his front door unlocked and objects strewn around the kitchen. As he returns to his room, he hears footsteps coming towards him. Scared senseless, he hides in a closet and then returns to a completely wrecked kitchen. Then a mysterious banging starts in his door. And no one is there. Whatever entity was present in that house even knocked his phone out of his hand. Whether he brought this malevolent spirit home or inadvertently released it by opening something in that house, this scene looks like it's straight out of a horror movie. Somebody is definitely going to be on the phone with the real estate agent after this. What do you make of this whole experience?
It was just another regular day at work until, a few hours into his night shift, this guy noticed one of the security cameras acting weird. Confused by what he was seeing, he pulled out his phone to capture it on camera. The camera on doorway 2, overlooking the hallway, seemed to catch a shadowy figure moving through. According to the security officer, the whole hotel was quiet, with no one around at that time. But when he rushed to check it out, there was nothing, no person, no trace of what could have cast that shadow. What's even creepier is how the camera feed gets distorted every time the figure shows up. The hallway may have seemed empty, but whatever cast that shadow, it left behind more questions than answers.
This next video was recorded off a security camera in Colombia on July 21st, 2024. According to the uploader, the man in this video had 24 stitches at the hospital right after what happened here. It all started when a loud bang was suddenly heard, and before anyone could figure out what had happened, a few others who were outside rushed over and found a man lying unconscious on the floor. Curious about what knocked the wind out of him, they turned to the CCTV footage, and this is the baffling clip they found. As the man was about to leave again, a strange object suddenly flew in at lightning speed, knocking him to the ground. He needed 24 stitches, showing just how powerful the impact was. This bizarre event left us replaying the video over and over, trying to figure out what sent this guy on an unexpected trip to the hospital. When we slowed down the footage, we noticed a small orb on the floor that seemed to grow as it changed trajectory, eventually hitting it. This has left everyone scratching their heads. Some say the object came from inside the building. Others think he might have been electrocuted or even hit by a bug flying by just at the right moment. There's also the theory that the door rebounded and struck him. Our take on this one? Well, if it came from inside the building, we would surely see it coming out. But instead we only see a small orb forming behind the car, turning around and growing until it eventually hits the dude. But with so many other theories and that mysterious orb behaviour, it's hard to dismiss any paranormal assumption attached to this clip. What do you think really happened here? Let us know.
We all remember it, the dreaded stay back after class note atop any piece of work throughout school.
Eat my shorts.
Okay. And it looks like the strict teachers who dish those comments out are just as common in the afterlife.
No, posta, boludo, posta. Pobrecito. Mira, mira, mira. Boludo, vení, mira.
Es una negra.
Vení, boludo.
A few commenters are claiming you can see a jump cut just as the cameraman goes to enter the room. It does look a little choppy, but nothing that couldn't also be put down to shaky hands from seeing demonic detention taking place. Do you think this was some fancy footwork or something much, much worse? Let us know down below.
CCTV cameras have provided us with all sorts of paranormal punches in the face. And this clip is no exception. While checking over the office cameras at his restaurant job, this guy caught something that made him do about 15 double takes.
And I got my backpack wet. So I wanted to find out who did it, so I came in to check the cameras. And we're gonna go 30-second intervals. So every click's 30 seconds. Watch this area here. Craziest shit ever. What the hell? Now we're just gonna play it. Nobody's in the office. It's a notepad of paper. It just moves right out. Wait for it. What the hell? Now watch the book still.
Looks like the ghostly back-of-house team is a bit stressed.
You can't beat that, can you?
The unbalanced weight theory doesn't work here, because there was nothing there that could have been teetering on any kind of edge. The things that fell were all flat. So what happened? Well, if you look closely at the darker, rectangular item that first got pulled off the shelf, it bears a striking resemblance to a phone, and anyone will know that no surface can keep a vibrating phone from creeping itself to the edge and falling over. So it could have fallen because the phone was vibrating and it just took everything with it. Or is this truly a haunted restaurant? What do you think?
In the paranormal community, there are a few big no-nos. Don't use a Ouija board if you know what's good for you. Don't leave chairs near your bedside, and don't get too comfortable with mirrors, because many seem to believe that they are portals to the other side. And these guys found that out the hard way. Check out what happened when one of them stared into the mirror for a little bit too long. If that's not terrifying, no idea what is. Your reflection is, well, your reflection, so it's meant to move with you. And that reflection was as still as anything as they moved and stepped back. So what the hell was in the mirror? You could be a bit skeptical here and mention the dreadful quality of the video, both in picture quality and lag. But surely there wouldn't be that big a delay, right? It could be a combination of that and the angle of the camera, or it could quite easily have been edited. They could have done some video magic and edited a clip in such a way that the portion of the person in the mirror was paused while their actual self was moving freely. But that's just a theory, because there must be a general fear of mirrors in the paranormal community for a reason. Do you have any hot takes? Let us know.
We all know how frustrating it is when someone keeps trying to get into the bathroom while you're in there, and it seems that this extends to the spirit world, because this invisible figure was not best pleased with being rushed.
Actividad paranormal.
¿Quién sos? Padre nuestro que estás en los cielos, santificado sea tu nombre. No sos bienvenido, andate. Andate. Me tenés cansado, mostrate. No te voy a tener miedo. ¿Quién sos?
The most interesting part of this video isn't the door handle, it's the shower curtain. Because as we know, doors are quite easy things to manipulate, believe it or not, and the fact that the guy turns the camera away from the door after it opened makes us a little sus. But what the hell was leaning against the shower curtain? We can't spot any jump cuts before he pulls it back, so unless he had some sort of tiny wind machine hidden in the shower, there had to be someone, or something, there. Looks like this guy interrupted the spectral shower time.
Padre nuestro que estás en los cielos, santificado sea tu nombre.
Of course, worship is a great way to tap into your spirituality, but it looks like this group of worshippers achieved way more than that. Take a look at what their camera captured in the background. everyone is serious and peaceful, singing in what looks like a religious gathering, when out of nowhere, the camera captures a shirt literally hovering on its own in the background, almost as if it's dancing along to their chant without anyone touching it or even close enough to move it. The movements are just a complete spectacle that kept us replaying this video in a loop when we first found it. It's almost as if there's a fan underneath it, blowing air inside. But why would they do that? It certainly doesn't look like there's any space for a fan. The shirt is as close to the wall as it could be. Could it be a deceased worshipper from the past, towing the line between the living and the dead, excited by the sight of people in deep worship? Or is there a cheeky prankster who chose the worst time to pull this trick off? It certainly is a weird piece of footage, considering how serious everyone seemed about their prayers, but what do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
When you're ill, you're at a much higher risk of hallucinations. At least that's what this person thought when they were home sick alone and saw something terrifying crawling up the stairs. But when they whipped their camera out, they realized that those worst nightmares had come true.
Hola gente, otra vez el ruido ese. Poco estoy haciendo compañía hoy, pero ya estoy sola. Todavía se escucha un ruido de abajo y la verdad que no sé. Ay, la con olor a algo ahí. Sora. Sora, subí. Nera.
Looks like the grudge wasn't as fictional as we once thought. It's pretty handy, no pun intended, that the second they got downstairs, the thing was gone. While it could definitely be some trickery of the ghostly variety, there's also a chance it was their mate hiding under the staircase who ran into the dark doorway at the back of the room. A commenter pointed out that the dog might have been in there because they saw the person running and thought they were playing. What do you think happened here? Real life horror movie? Or a scary home video?